Welcome back to our next video on getting started with Trello. If this is where you've landed and you want to go back to the start, please click on the playlist and you'll be able to go straight to the first episode to start from the beginning, just so you can, see where we're up to. If you're just continuing from previous video, that's fine. Just let's get into it. So this video, we're going to have a look at some shortcuts. So Trello is fantastic. It does a whole heap of functionality, works really well in Teams, works really well by yourself, but it also works really nicely with some quick keyboard shortcuts to know about. So we did touch on this in one of the first videos. When we hover over a card on our main board here, it comes up with a pencil. Okay, so we can click on the pencil, and then you have quick access to some useful options here. So we've got edit labels, so we can click on edit labels. It's going to bring up a little shortcut, so we can get rid of that. It's going to have change members, so we can go in here and say, well, actually, it's just this person that needs to worry about it. We can move the card. Now, if we click on move, it's going to offer us a suggestion, but it's also going to say, where would you like to move it to? But what's the nice thing is it doesn't have to be on this same board. So if I have 3 or 4 boards or 10 boards, I can actually move this one card around, and it's going to keep all that history, all the information if I move it to a separate board. So you can say, cool, well, let's say we had another board called home or something like that. We could then move it to the home board, and then we could then pick what list it moves to on the home board and the location. So a bit pointless to do this when I'm just moving things on the same board, so I won't necessarily do it here, but a good tool to know if you're trying to shift cards around on different boards. You can also do that at a list level, so you can move a whole list to another board if you're kind of trying to just shift things around, which is great. You've got a copy option, so we can make a duplicate of this card, and it's going to say, hey, what do you want to call it? Okay. Do you want to keep all the checklists that are in there? Do you want to keep the members and attachments and everything else that's signed? Where would you like to copy it to, and what list and what position? Again, really useful stuff here that Trello is giving us, which is fantastic. And of course, there's a change due date. So we can go, okay, well, actually, we've got less time than I thought. It's really got to be done by Wednesday. Okay, I can save that. It's going to adjust that on the fly. Finally, we've got our archive button, which we've already seen. So once you've made those changes there, you can simply go in there and click save. Now, some people prefer using the keyboard for navigating Trello. So if you can see the mouse here, it's kind of darkens each of the cards as you go over. Now, if I jump over to the keyboard, and you can't see this, of course, but you can see I'll be hitting the keys on the screen. I can use my left and right arrows to navigate, and as you can see, as it's jumping around, it's giving me an example of what I'm highlighted. Then I can simply hit return, and it's going to pop up with the screen. Now I can hit escape, I can go to the next one, hit return, have a look through the board, yep, cool, everything's going okay there, and then escape to get out of it. So there's a nice way to sort of jump around, and if you're not a mouse sort of person and you like to use the keyboard, sometimes that's quicker depending on what you're doing. But yeah, you can go in here and you can utilize the keys there. Now on the keyboard shortcuts, there's quite a few of them. So the best way to see the list of keyboard shortcuts is to hold shift and hit question mark, and it pops up with all the keyboard shortcuts. So there's some useful ones here, like navigating the cards. You can go up and down to select different cards. You can open the header boards. We'll do search in a moment. Our archive card, C, that's a useful one to know. D adjusts our due date. We can add checklists. We can go into quick edit mode. We can escape. So there's a whole heap of different options here. So if we were, say here, set up social media, that's not enough. If we've hovered over it, we can hit E, and it's going to let us change that. Only need Facebook, and hit return, and it's going to go away again. So really nice, easy sort of way to utilize some of the keyboard shortcuts. Now, the ones that I use all the time are not that many, really. So I use E for archive. quite a lot. Okay, so I don't actually have a done column. I have an invoice column, where things need to go. If a work that I've completed, I need to make sure that they're invoiced before I archive them, which is important. But some things I have just reminders and I want to archive them. So if I hover over, I can just hit the E key. Sorry, if I hover over and hit the C key, it's going to archive it for me. So E's for edit. Now if I hover over this one and I hit the L key, L stands for labels, it's going to pop up with our labels. I can start typing in here, and as soon as it's highlighted that one, I'm going to hit return and then hit escape, and it's going to give that the urgent label that I've asked for. So that's how we jump around on the different keyboard shortcuts when we're looking at on the board level. So quick video, but quite a useful one altogether. We'll see you in the next one.